What's going on, guys? Merijn here, and welcome to the fourth and final episode of the Hybrid Aesthetics series. On day 4, which is today, we're training full body. So we're targeting all muscles in our upper and lower body. This is why it's important to have at least 1 day rest between this workout and the last workout. I'm a big believer in hitting every muscle group twice a week. Protein synthesis, the process of repairing and building muscle after muscle protein is broken down after training, only occurs for 24 to 48 hours in most cases for natural lifters. That means that if you're natural, ideally you want to hit a specific muscle group again after that time period instead of training each muscle group once a week. The big lift of day 4 is the muscle up. This is another bodyweight calisthenics exercise which is extremely challenging, but also extremely epic if you ask me. The first time I saw these was back in the day when Cali Muscle did these prison workouts, was wrapping muscle ups while weighing like 300 pounds, crazy stuff. Nowadays he only eats watermelons, but that's besides the point. This is probably the most difficult exercise in his entire routine, requiring significant upper body strength, stability and coordination. In my opinion, it's extra impressive to not just have an aesthetic physique and to look good, but also be able to master exercises like this. Start by grabbing a pull-up bar with a false grip, and that means your palms are facing towards you and your wrists are positioned above the bar rather than around it, which allows for a smoother transition during the muscle up. I like to start with a swinging motion because I can't do a complete clean rep just yet, being just completely real. This is why I sort of jump into the movement to use some momentum to make it easier. I see it as a combination of a pull-up and a pull-over motion by pulling your chest towards the bar while driving your elbows down towards your hips and bringing your knees up at the same time. Once your chest is over the bar, push down on the bar to execute a dip. Fully extend your arm here, pressing your body away from the bar until your arms are straight. And then you can reverse the movement by bending your arm slightly and lowering yourself back down to the starting hanging position. Here you will see me use momentum at the bottom again to get myself back up. I can make a more detailed video on this exercise with an expert if you'd like me to, because there is a lot that comes into play here. So let me know in the comments if you'd like that. If you can't do these yet, start with assisted muscle ups by using resistance bands. I personally started with the heaviest bands and then worked my way down to the lighter bands before I did these with my body weight. If you're not able to do any body weight pull-ups yet, I recommend focusing on those first, and you can include them as a substitute for the muscle up. In the entire Hybrid Aesthetics program, I offer more substitutions for all exercises. We do 2 working sets here, and then we move on to the trap bar deadlift. This is a variation of the traditional deadlift, but because of the trap bar design, it allows for a more natural and upright lifting position. It's better for producing speed and power, and this is why it's used by a lot of athletes in different sports. It's also beneficial for those with lower back issues, which I had before, or with those that have limited mobility. The trap bar deadlift emphasizes the quads and glutes a bit more compared to a conventional deadlift, but it still targets the hamstrings properly as well. It really depends on how you perform it. And to target the hamstrings more, which is what I'm doing, is by pushing your butt back and minimize forward knee travel. Keep your back straight and chest lifted. Your shoulders should be pulled back and down, engaging your lats. It's a great movement for both beginners and more advanced lifters. Next up are walking lunges, focused primarily on the quads. Grab a sandbag, place a barbell in your neck, or you can hold 2 dumbbells or kettlebells while performing this movement. I like the sandbag because holding the weight might have an impact on my grip for the next upper body exercise, and having a barbell is more risky and difficult to drop when I reach a point of failure, which is what we're doing here because we're not doing a lot of sets, as you see. Keep your chest lifted and your shoulders back for good posture. Take a step forward with your right leg landing on your heel, then rolling onto the ball of your foot. Your right knee should be approximately at a 90-degree angle. Lower your body by bending both knees until your left knee touches the ground or comes close to it. Keep your torso upright, core engaged to maintain stability. Now push off the ground with your right foot, bring your right leg back to the starting position, and as soon as you bring that leg back, you step forward with the other leg and repeat the same movement. Avoid leaning forward with your body unless you want to emphasize your glutes, but that's not the primary goal here. Next exercise is for our upper back. This is the high pulley row. Grab a cable station and a bench. Now place the cable on the highest part of the station. Put the bench in front of it and on a steep incline. Grab the cable with one arm while using your other arm for support against the incline bench. I like to place my thumb up on the cable as this helps me with creating a better mind-muscle connection with my back and less activation from my forearms and biceps. Pull the handle close to the side of your body and focus on driving the weight with your elbow and using your hands as hooks. Get the full contraction at the bottom, hold it for 1 second and return slowly to the starting position and get that full stretch in your lats. Repeat for the other side once you've completed these reps. Next up is the Incline Smith machine with extra emphasis on the upper part of our chest. The Smith machine provides extra stability and control during the exercise, and many of us don't always have a spotter when doing a bench press. That's why I'm a big fan of it. Since we've done a lot of free weight heavy compounds and this is our 5th exercise, I prefer this variation over the regular incline bench on this particular day. Grab an incline bench and put it below the Smith machine at a 30-degree angle. I'm not a fan of 45 degrees or higher since it will put more stress on your shoulders and less on your chest. What's important here is having a slight arch in your lower back and keeping your shoulder blades back and down while doing this movement. Slightly tuck your elbows on the way down, control the weight, and then you flare them out a bit while pushing up. Keep your shoulders back and don't let them roll forward at the top of the movement at all times. Next up is a superset to isolate our shoulders. For the ultimate aesthetic look, it's important to properly hit our shoulders from different angles. We're gonna need an incline bench and a few dumbbells for this one. First, we do lateral raises for our side delts. Don't keep your arms fully straight here, but have a slight elbow bend and lean forward slightly. Stop around shoulder level. Once you go above, you'll start taking the emphasis off your shoulders and onto your traps, which is not the goal. Don't go super heavy on these and grab a weight that you can control. Now we directly superset this with rear delt dumbbell flies on an incline bench. Many people do this movement standing, but the problem is that very often momentum is being used and your back is doing most of the work and taking over the movement, and your traps as well. Go light in weight and focus on controlled reps and feeling your rear delts contracting. We're going to full failure on both of these. Next up, we're doing arms. We can use the same bench and we start with alternating incline dumbbell curls. This is a great exercise for biceps because we're totally eliminating momentum here. We're isolating the long head of the biceps here since it's fully stretched and the incline angle allows for a greater stretch at the bottom and a better contraction at the top, leading to improved muscle fiber recruitment and therefore gains. Adjust the incline bench to around a 45-degree angle. Sit on the bench with your back against the backrest and your feet flat on the floor. Hold a dumbbell in each hand with a neutral grip. While maintaining your upper arms stationary, exhale and curl the dumbbells towards your shoulders while turning your palms facing forward. Supinated grip. Focusing on contracting the biceps here. Keep your wrists straight throughout the entire movement. Lower the dumbbells back to the starting position in a controlled manner. Allow your biceps to stretch fully at the bottom of the movement. A good cue for this is squeezing your triceps at the bottom before curling up again. Now after the set, we directly go into dumbbell skull crushers. I recommend performing these with dumbbells since many people experience elbow and joint pain when doing it with a bar. Place yourself on top of the incline bench rather than sitting on the normal seat. By moving yourself all the way up at the bench, it allows you to drive your elbows back and behind your head, allowing for a greater range of motion and more muscle fiber recruitment. Make sure to keep your elbows tucked in and not flared out. Focus on squeezing your triceps at the top of the movement before slowly going back down. Next up, we have seated calf raises. On the other days, we focus on standing calf raises, which mainly target the gastrocnemius, upper part of our calf. With the seated variation, we put more emphasis on the soleus, which is the deep muscle that lies beneath the upper part of our calf. Many gyms have a seated calf raise machine, but there are other options. Sit on a bench or chair with your feet flat on the floor. Place a step or platform in front of you. Put a weight plate or dumbbell on your knees for extra resistance. I like to do one leg at a time with a dumbbell. Press through the balls of your feet and raise your heels as high as you can by contracting your calf muscle. Focus on pushing through your toes. Try to minimize holding the weight and only making sure it stays steady for optimal calf recruitment and stability as well. So I like to just use my fingers on the dumbbell. Hold the raised position for 1 to 2 seconds, feeling the contraction in your calves, and slowly come all the way back down and pause at the bottom again before going back up. Next up is one exercise for abs. I do the hanging leg raise around the world. This hits the entire abs, including obliques and your rectus abdominis, your six-pack. This is a more advanced exercise, and if you're not able to do this one, you can substitute it for a leg or knee raise with alternating side twists. As a finisher, we're doing box jumps. This is a plyometric exercise that will build explosive power, coordination, balance, functional strength, and they are a great finisher since they boost your heart rate up and therefore burn calories. Start with a low box and gradually increase the height as you become more confident and proficient. Focus on soft and controlled landings to reduce the impact on your joints. Keep your knees in line with your toes during the jump to avoid excessive stress on your knees, and land with a slight bend in your knees to absorb the impact. As you've probably seen by now, I've created the Hybrid Aesthetics program, which connects all of these workouts together and covers everything in even more detail. This is a complete guide covering everything from the training principles, substitute exercises, Q&As, and the full 8-week training program, including reps, sets, rest time, reps in reserve for each exercise. You can also decide to follow these videos and go at it yourself, or use the full blueprint to take all the guesswork out of it and have it in a well-packaged training routine to follow. First link in bio to pick up the full program. Now, whether you do so or not, we're still great friends, and much love for tuning in. I hope you will give this training style a try and see for yourself how fun it is and how much progress you'll be able to make. If you enjoyed this series, please let me know in the comments. It really means a lot, guys. Give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't catch the last video yet, the leg workout, then check it out right here, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Much love.